Hi crypto peeps, hope you're doing well. Today's date is 8th of February 2023 and let's get straight to the crypto news, shall we? My first piece of news here is on thisismoney.co.uk and what's the point of Bitcoin and why the Treasury and Bank of England are pursuing a digital pound. Britons could be using a digital currency dubbed Bitcoin in the next decade under plans being considered by the Treasury and the Bank of England. The proposals would create a digital pound issued by the Bank of England, accessed through digital wallets and interchangeable with cash and bank deposits. It goes on to say, what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a potential British digital currency which could be issued by the Bank of England and backed by the government. Unlike Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies which are not backed by real currency or an asset, Bitcoin would be tied to the pound and is so called a stablecoin. That means that its value will be stable just like banknotes, with £10 in Bitcoin digital pounds having the same value as a £10 note. The digital pound would be built using the blockchain, tokenized and stored on a digital wallet accessible via smartphones or cards. Like private currencies, these wallets would most likely be provided by a private company, so you might have to pay them and companies to hold your money. However, that's not so different to a traditional bank. And it's got a few more details there if that one interests you. It's big news. It's all over the news the last couple of days. It seems like there are very serious plans afoot, and England seems to be leading the charge on setting up this CBDC or stablecoin. Very interesting news there. So moving on to my second piece of news here on the street, Cathie Wood speculates Tesla could soon offer a game-changing service. Now this isn't exactly crypto news, but it is financial news and it's something that could impact you, so I thought you might want to hear this. The money manager sees great promise in Tesla's ability to come up with an autonomous taxi platform in the next few years. There are some people who may think of autonomous vehicles as the automotive equivalent of the check is in the mail. They always seem to be on the way, but never seem to get there. For years now, Tesla and CEO Elon Musk has been promising the planet that Teslas will be driving themselves real soon. And the last year, he renewed that oft-repeated conviction. He goes on to say, I would be shocked if we do not achieve full self-driving safer than a human this year. I would be shocked. And he said that during the fourth quarter testing last July. And while some may scoff at Musk's claims, ARK Investment Management's chief executive, Cathie Wood, recently gave a resounding hell yes to the possibility of an autonomous Tesla taxi. During a discussion about artificial intelligence, Wood said that companies that have proprietary data are probably going to be the biggest beneficiaries of AI. She goes on to say, Tesla has billions upon billions of miles of real-world driving data, with all kinds of corner cases showing Tesla where the problem spots are in autonomous driving and could be coming in autonomous driving. So they have all this proprietary data, no one else has it, and we believe they're in a pole position to deliver an autonomous taxi platform in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's have a look at that. There's more information here. Just one more bit here I've got. And she goes on to say here, and if you believe in autonomous cars at all, it's closer to 13 times during the next 5 years. So we are as bullish about Tesla as we have ever been. Interesting news there, especially if you're an investor in Tesla or if you're interested in AI technology. Everything seems to be going that way. So have a look at that one. Very interesting. As with all the stuff that we present here today, I'm reading you small little snippets, new bites. The full links are down below for you to do your own research. Moving on here to Forbes, how MasterCard, Goldman Sachs and other TradFi titans are using blockchain to rewire global finance. Now, I can't really highlight this very well because it's on a black screen, so bear with me. So crypto is in crisis, but many of the world's biggest financial institutions are still banking on the underlying tech as the best way to build confidence with customers and with one another. In late January, the 55-year-old Mybatch told analysts and shareholders that his company had surpassed 2 billion tokenized transactions per month, at 38% in a year, and that MasterCard was enabling digital payments in 110 countries. And the big benefit to all this? Less fraud. So have a look at that. There's some really interesting comments there. As I said, it's very hard for me to highlight it because it's on a black background, but the link is down below. Have a look at that. It just goes to show adoption is happening. Whether you see it or not, it's coming. Moving on here on to Cointelegraph. Bitcoin sees golden cross, which last hit 2 months before the all-time high. Goes on to say, data from Cointelegraph, Markets Pro and TradingView showed that Bitcoin tracking sideways overnight, having shunned volatility at the week's first Wall Street open. Whilst failing to flip $23,000 to support, the pair nonetheless saw a potentially significant event on February 6th in the form of a golden cross on the daily chart. Now this refers to the rising 50 period moving average crossing over the 200 period moving average. The last time this occurred on daily time frames was in September 2021, 2 months before Bitcoin's latest all-time high. Some crypto analysts have been keenly watching the cross, with venture founder, a contributor to on-chain data platform, arguing that $25,000 could reappear as a result. He goes on to say this potential correction could see Bitcoin retest 20k as key support, and then in the bullish case test 25k next. Make 25k support, and it's now in the coffin for the bears. And there's lots more data and charts and everything on there for you if that story interests you. But interesting and something to keep an eye out for, I believe. The next article here is on Markets Insider. The S&P 500 could nosedive 30% this year as painful recession takes hold, says top economist David Rosenberg. He goes on to say, prepare for US stock markets to plunge, unemployment to jump, and the economy to slump this year. And this comes from David Rosenberg. Investors can weather the approaching storm by betting on gold bonds and tried and tested companies, and he told this to MarketWatch in a recent interview. But he said that they should avoid cryptocurrencies. And he goes, yes, I don't know what he thinks about that, but he goes on to say there's going to be a bleak outlook, I should say, and there's nothing right now in my collection of metrics telling me that we're anywhere close to a bottom. He also said that he believes a US recession is only just beginning. He goes on to say here, the stock market bottoms 70% of the way into a recession and 70% of the way into an easing cycle. He's referring in the latter to when the Federal Reserve starts loosening its monetary policy to drive economic growth. He then goes on to say the US banks is currently tightening its grip. It has hiked interest rates from almost 0 to nearly 5% within the past year in response to historic inflation, and it expects to lift them even higher in the coming months. As a result, the benchmark S&P 500 index could nosedive this year by nearly 30% from its current level to around 2,900 points. He also suggested unemployment may surge from 3.4% in January, its lowest level in half a century, to over 4.6%. Again, there's more information there. If this one interests you, have a look at it, read it in detail. It's always good to be informed of different viewpoints, whether you like them or not. Now, we haven't looked at anything Metaverse for a while. It's been a bit quiet out there, Metaverse related, but I thought this was an interesting article to show you. The sandbox, or sand, sees large inflows into exchanges, and is this good news for investors? It says the sandbox saw close to 100 million inflows into exchanges in recent days. The token unlock event is coming up in a few days, and that might be a motivating factor. The value of sandbox is increased significantly at the start of 2023. Nevertheless, price movement has slowed recently, and a review of several crucial parameters revealed that some significant events for the game token might take shape. It says here, a significant amount of sand was being moved to exchanges at press time based upon data collected from Glassnode. The outflow was dwarfed by the inflow, which surged to nearly 82 million from the observed chart. The data suggested that investors were now transferring their tokens to several exchanges on a huge scale to sell them. A bit more detail on that one if that one interests you at all. I'm pretty interested in Metaverse and where that's going. It looks like there's some big moves afoot. So see how that plans out over the next couple of weeks. The next one I have here is on the block. Starbucks, Warner Music are among billion-dollar brands turning to Polygon to tap Web3. It says, from Starbucks to Warner Music, large corporations are building on the Polygon blockchain to bring their Web3 visions to life. According to Polygon Labs president, it's not Polygon's tech that's attracting the big brands, but rather Polygon Labs' unique white glove approach to corporate partnerships. Fortune 500 companies are used to having their hand held along a journey, especially in something like Web3, where there's a lot to navigate, he said. Have a look at that one if that interests you. That comes with a podcast that you can listen to. I can't remember how long it is, but it's quite interesting. Have a look at that, especially if you're interested in Polygon. But it looks like they're attracting some big corporations. Another one here which is interesting as well, and it goes along with the Bitcoin news, and this is on the Bitcoinist. The Bank of England mentions Ripple in their new CBDC consultation paper, and here's why. Yesterday, the Bank of England and UK Treasury published a consultation paper on the digital pound, a UK central bank digital currency, or CBDC. It mentioned Ripple's technology at one point. In the 116-page document, the Central Bank of England describes why it is considering launching it and what the CBDC might look like. This year, the Central Bank of England wants to gather public opinion through a consultation, and if the decision is made in the favour of a digital pound, it will be implemented in the second half of the decade. However, cash would remain in circulation, and the CBDC would only serve as a supplement. What role Ripple will play in this project is relatively unclear at this time. However, the US company is mentioned in the consultation paper under the heading Enable Private Sector Innovation, and in connection with RTGS, or Real-Time Gross Settlement. So have a look at that one if that one interests you, and if you're an investor or looking at Ripple in any way. It's been going through some troubles. Maybe this is some indicators that it may come out the other end of all this. Look at all the information anyway. So moving on now, we're going to move to some video news. Great resources on YouTube and on TikTok for videos and crypto related information. So please look at those as sources. The first one I got here is on Altcoin Daily. It goes on for roughly 9 minutes. And it's the Jerome Powell speech today. This was a day or so ago. And it's all about the crypto market feeling blessed by what he says in this. Have a look at that. Very interesting. I liked that one. Altcoin Daily puts out information as it says in its title, daily. It's all great stuff, so subscribe. The next one on my list, another favourite of mine, Coin Bureau. They also put out several pieces of content a week. Fantastic stuff. This one is basic crypto news all around. Lots of stuff. It goes on for 30 minutes, talking about the ETH update, the Fed, what they're doing, AI wars, all the AI cryptos and everything else, and a lot more. That's a fantastic news resource there. As I said, 30 minutes packed full of information. Subscribe and watch that one. And my final piece of news today, or a video source, goes on for 10.5 minutes. It's from Jamie Tree here. The cycle is turning fast, and Raoul Paul has new crypto predictions. Have a look at that one. See what you think of that one. Again, it's all interesting stuff. They come out with some great content on Jamie Tree, so maybe think about subscribing to that one as well. So that's it from the news bites for this week. Lots happening out there. As you can see, adoption's happening. Bitcoin's doing some interesting things with the golden cross, and it's showing some good movements outward, and it's sticking at around about 23 to 24k at the moment. So all good all round. Be safe out there. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Please click the bell and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It helps us, and then we can help you. Have a great week out there. Be safe out there. Namaste. See you next week.